Hi, government announced the stimulus package yesterday, and we're just going to summarize the main points that's going to affect the businesses and our clients in the announcement. So we divided to three different parts: wages subsidy for those of you having employees, business cash flow and taxes, which is going to help you next year with your cash flow, and leave and self-isolation support, which affects some of you when you have a staff. Let's talk about the wages subsidy. So the wages subsidy basically gives you a $585.80 per week for full-time employee. That's 20 hours and more for the next 12 weeks, and you receive it as a lump sum payment. So that adds up to $7,029.60 per employee. You receive that lump sum payment, and after that, basically, you have to see if there is any other packages available. But that covers you for 12 weeks. If it's a part-time employee, less than 20 hours, that's going to give you $4,200. There would be a link for application. The application is through Work and Income Support, and it gives you the money in 5 days. The application link is there, and you can apply for that. If you are self-employed or contractor affected by this, you can apply for yourself, because if your business is closed, like if you have a tour bus or anything if you doing any contract that is going to be affected by the COVID-19 as well, you would be able to apply for yourself and receive that $7,029.60 if you're working full-time and part-time as well. So the link are different. So there is one link for sole trader contractor and one link for people who having employees. So the maximum that you're going to receive, especially in hospitality, if you have like 30, 40 staff, the maximum you would receive is $150,000. But you have to make sure to basically separate your full-time staff from your part-time staff, especially in hospitality businesses that are most affected. So as an employer, you have to make sure that you keep those employees at least for 80% of their income for the next 12 weeks, which is the duration that you receive the subsidy for. So if they're working 5 days, that means 4 days out of the 5 days they have to work for you. So you have to provide, undertake that, and make sure. And as they announce, if you don't do that, you can get into trouble, and that's a fraud, obviously, as well. So be careful that if you want to, if you have a casual staff and they're going to go, that's not going to work. You have to keep them for the next 12 weeks. Or if you want to reduce the hours, you're not going to reduce it more than 20%. So you have to keep them 80% of that. So the other thing is you have to make sure that you mitigate your risk in other ways through the bank, and also come talk to us, because there are certain things we might be able to do to help you with the cash flow and make sure that you can stay afloat in this hard time. We have to take care of each other, and there are different ways that you can do. And I think that things going to change. People behavior going to change for good or bad. Lots of overseas travel are gone, so people are going to travel locally, hopefully, and hopefully we can support each other to come out of the other side much better people and human beings. So business cash flow and tax. These are the things that is not going to immediately affect you, but it'll help you for next year as far as the tax payment and all that. So the first one is the provisional tax changes. So for 2020, when you would do your tax return, the threshold was $2,500 of the liability. Now is a $5,000. So up to $5,000, you're not gonna pay provisional tax. Even more than $5,000 for this first year, you're not going to pay any provisional tax in a way. So they say, okay, don't pay the provisional tax, and you can pay it the year after. So become almost like a terminal tax. So if you are doing your taxes yourself, it's going to be 7th of February 2022. And if you are a client or you have a tax agent or other accountant, you would pay it later in April. So that helps, like having those cash, and hopefully by 2021, everything is back to normal or even better, and we'll see how we go from there. The other thing is the value of the assets. So at the moment, in this financial year, anything less than 500, we can write it off as an expense, and we don't have to register for the as an asset. Temporary, this coming financial year is going to be up to $5,000. This is to basically encourage people to spend more with other businesses, and also they can write it off straight away. So if you have to buy machinery, computer, or anything for $5,000, you can write it off as expense from 1st of April 2020. From 1st of April to 2021, that will reduce and permanently going to go down to $1,000 threshold. Obviously, I'm not going to encourage you to go and spend all your money, but if you are in a position that your business is doing well, is not affected that much with this, I would suggest spend that money with your client or suppliers. Do something to help them, and spend that money, and you can write it off. If you have to buy and equip your office and equip your business with IT, with anything that you need, this is a good time to do it, because you don't have to depreciate them. You write it off straight away, and it helps a lot with your cash flow. The other thing is the depreciation of the commercial and industrial building came back. So it's going to be a 2% diminishing value. So if you own a commercial property as you know, the depreciation has gone before, now they brought it back, and that can help as well with your cash flow if you own one. So the other thing is the leave and self-isolation support. This has affected a lot of us. So you have your staff that being overseas, and they come back and they have to go to self-isolation. Some of them, they might think they have coronavirus, they have to go self-isolation, and they don't have a sick leave available. So how are you going to do that? It's a bit tricky. So this is basically to cover that. But the main point is it only applies if they can't work from home. So if you could, like us accountants, we can send the staff home, and we kind of almost working from home these days. Any of the staff that they choose to work from home, they can. And as the things changes, we might send everybody home anyway. So it wouldn't apply to us. But if there is a business that they can't really provide what they hired to do, and they have to stay at home for 14 days, then this will apply to them. So as you can see, anybody who's at home for the self-isolation, anybody who are ill with the COVID-19, or they have to take care of somebody else. So if the kid or husband and wife, and they're there, and usually those people, they have to go self-isolation as well anyway. And the people who've been overseas and they come back, and from 16th of March will not be eligible for this. So because obviously if they're gone after 16th of March, they knew that they have to be in a self-isolation in 14 days, so it wouldn't apply to them. They're knowingly gone out of the country, and they're not going to get that. But if it was before that, and they left for a holiday in February, and they come back now, and they have to be self-isolation, it will apply to that. Also, taking a sick leave before 17th of March, it's not going to pay for that. It's just basically after that. And we talked about traveling since 16th of March, so it's not going to apply. So what they're going to get those 2 weeks, so it's a 14 days. So if they're full-time, it's going to be $585.80, and if it's part-time, it's $350. And that goes directly to the employee. So employer will receive that. They need to apply through the work and income, and they pay that to the staff. So the employer doesn't need to pay them, so they receive that much money because they don't have a sick leave, so they can survive during that period. So this is all we had as a summary to say. We include the application form links below this video. Also, we have all of these summarized in a document if you want to download the document and share it with anybody. If you want to share this video with anybody, please do so. If you need help, whether you are a client, whether you're not our client, and you think we can help you with the application form, with your projection to make sure that you're eligible, or you need help with your cash flow and see what are the funding available out there that you can get, please do contact us. You can contact us on support@wiseadvise.co.nz, support@wiseadvise.co.nz, and we would be more than happy to help you there. Take care of each other, and hopefully you'll be fine.